Dr. Stiller is Global Ambassador for World Evangelical Alliance, a good friend of the work here. Brian, thank you for being with us, but let's talk today about Reverend Billy Graham. Just how significant was he to Christianity?
There's none like him. In the last 75 years, we've moved from 90 million evangelicals since 1960 to 600 today. And in the middle of it, he's been the voice, the presence, the person who has brought people together. He has been kind. He has not been caught in politics. His life, his marriage, his finances has all been absolutely clean without any sense of rumor. He has stood for us all and given us strength and stature in the world. We could never have imagined a person of such stature, integrity, and personal gifting in preaching to come along on the scene at the end of the Second World War and emerge in the way that he has. There's no other story like it.
Let's talk now how Dr. Graham gathered Christian leaders globally. He created the Lausanne movement. What did he do with it, and why was it so important to him?
Remember, he emerged after the Second World War. There were a number of movements, youth movements, InterVarsity, Youth for Christ, Campus Crusade, Young Life. They all emerged, and out of that came a desire to bring a new vision of the gospel. Europe was collapsed. It was devastated. And so in Berlin in 1968, he brought together a number of leaders from around the world, including our Dr. Harry Fott from Danforth Gospel Temple, who started the EFC in Canada. And they came together to say, what now should we be doing that Europe is in rubble? A new vision is coming on the scene. There are these youth movements that are burgeoning forward. What should we do? And so in 1974, they called together 2,500 leaders from around the world called the Lausanne Congress. And that was the pivotal moment in the 20th century for evangelicals, because at that point, we were still caught in kind of a sectarian fundamentalist mindset. And what he did with John Stott of England and Jack Dane of Australia, he brought a new group of people together around a new vision. And during that time, we had some passionate Latin Americans who were talking about social justice as an essential component of the evangelical message. And that, in the whole meeting at Lausanne, brought together a new mindset for evangelicals that moved from this kind of the sectarian inward thinking to a global evangelical outward thinking, and that transformed our whole community.
And Reverend Graham went on to say, we want to inspire people with justice and with their spiritual life. How did he interchange and get caught in politics?
He got caught with Nixon for a while, but he emerged out of that quite unscathed. And he simply refused to allow for example, he had a comment about Jerry Falwell and the Moral Majority, and he would not be a part of that right-wing grouping because he felt that there was a larger kind of moral vision that would be couched more in a spirit of humility that would play at the heart of the gospel than a political kind of arm twisting that tended to go along with the religious right.
All right. Reverend Brian Stiller, thank you very much for your insight into Billy Graham.